I flew the Mirage for a long time. My max payload, 4 air-to-air missiles, 2 long range and 2 short. Not a whole lot of room on that thing for missiles. I'm kind of used to it, but the smaller you can keep your weight, the better you'll be, for 2 reasons. 1, you'll be able to chase things down. 2, you'll be able to turn. 3, you'll be able to get to higher altitude, and that's really all I can think of. Use your wingman. You have him for a reason. He's not there just to look pretty and fly formation. Use his loadouts. He has just as many AIM-120s as you. You have 1 person on your wing, that's 8 AIM-120s. You should be able to kill the entire Russian Air Force with 8 AIM-120s. Make them count. Don't shoot at shit you can't hit, and you should be fine. That's the basic rule. So shooting an AIM-120 at 28 miles, probably not a good idea, because there's probably a low chance of success. Firing it at 16 miles, much better idea. Pretty good chance you're gonna hit.
Copy that.
So you could go ahead and get started if you haven't already. And we'll be rolling. So even like this right now with 3 fuel tanks, I would never do. I'd take 1 fuel tank or 2 fuel tanks and 2 to 4 AIM-120s, and that would be it. And I could probably kill on the training server a lot of times if I do this. I could pretty much wipe out all the Su-27s you could spawn by myself with this loadout.
Can you go over the loadout once more for me, thank you?
3 tanks, 4 AIM-120s, 2 AIM-9.
Copy, thank you. You have a preference, Bravo, Charlie?
You can take Charlie.
Just keep loading screen.
Grizz, who are your section leaders in here?
It's gonna be me and Twib.
Twib? Okay. Who do you have in the squadron as a whole? More than that, I'm assuming?
I think it's Oz. I'm not qualified yet.
You're gonna be it tonight.
You got it.
It's not that big of a deal. What you could probably expect, as far as like the mission goes, chances are Spiceman, I believe, is going to be handling like AWAC. So chances are you're probably going to fly to a point, and you're going to orbit the point in probably, well, it doesn't really matter what direction, but you're going to be orbiting an area, right? And with your radar on, you're going to be paying attention to what's out there, and the big part is listening and understanding where the bad guys are, where they're coming from, and what you have to worry about. Those are the big things, because you have to intercept them, and you have to stay ahead of where the good guys are. You want to put yourself between where the good guys are and where the bad guys are, so they attack you and not the other guys that are carrying 6,000 pounds of bomb. Does that make sense? That is your entire role, is to intercept bad guys trying to get into your area. Depending on who's closest, that person or that section will commit. And that's another brevity term that's used. You could say over the radio, let's say if I'm flying with operator and we're orbiting around an area and Spiceman comes over the radio and 2 bandits, 30 miles, 030. or 030 for 30 miles, Angels 16. I'm going to picture that in my head and be like, okay, 030 is that way. 40 or night 11 committing to whoever it was. Maybe he said that they're MiG 21s. Night 11 committing MiG 21s 030. So now everyone knows on the radio we are committed to that group. So that group should be handled. Now there's another pop-up group. There's the bandits 40 miles from the area. At Angels 20, they're hot, meaning coming into the zone. The Jetty and Shady are orbiting a point. So what are you guys gonna say?
I'd call going hot towards the threat.
Yeah, you're committing. That's
Committing.
the term. I'm committing to those bandits. So everyone knows without any doubt you are committing to them. So if you die, they know. Time to get out of
At least he committed.
here. And then yeah, so that's good with brevity. Communication is very important, and the thing that I personally grill 41 and 213 on all the time is they don't say anything when bad guys all of a sudden show up. They're too focused on what they're doing, and they don't express what's happening.
Refueling complete.
Do you guys
If
make
you-
the supporting calls too?
Like what? Give me an example.
Like if you know, you got a section going, the lead shooter, you know, he says, he'll make a call of what he's doing. You know, two's offensive left turn, Angels 2-0, and then two would come back supporting high right. You know, so two would always be keeping positioning himself to be visual with his wing, with his lead and the bandit.
So
he knows
you,
when he can come in.
Complete.
just like I said before, absolutely we're gonna go into those calls too. But you keep those calls between you and your wingman. You don't have to broadcast that on the mission chat. You know what I mean?
Correct.
That would get too hectic. But yeah, those are normal brevity terms. So the way I like to do it as a flight leader or a section leader, I take control of the situation and I set it up like you would anything else. I know that the bandits are 20 miles in front of us. There's two of them. I'm on the left side, my wingman's on my right. One is sorting left, two is sorting right. I say that to my wing, so he knows. Two sort right, one will sort left. So we've got our targets figured out. Now we're about 20, 18 miles away, something like that. I say, if we get fired on, notch left. So I've now picked a direction for us to escape. We're notching left if we get fired on. The wingman always stays with lead, unless you are in a defensive situation where the wingman needs to put pressure. Does that make sense? It's I guess it's a little confusing. Whenever possible, the wingman tries to stay with the lead. Lead's role is the offensive part of the formation. Number two is the defensive part. He's in charge of keeping the formation integrity and the safety of. So he's looking out at all times. He's making sure that we are good to go. Two can say, let's say I get shot at. I'm number one. Operator is number two. I'm saying lead defensive notching left. The targets are, let's say, 15 miles away or so. I'll either say two press, meaning I need him to put pressure on the bad guys that are attacking us, or two is going to say, because he's his own pilot, two is going to say two's engaging or something like that. And me as lead or section lead, flight lead, whatever, I might say skip it because I see a bigger picture and I need him to get off of that and come with me because we need to get out of here. Or I'll say to continue, meaning continue with that. Does that make sense? It's a lot of brevity. Some of it might be new, some of it might be old. So there's offensive, defensive. There's notching, meaning I'm indicating what direction or what I'm doing. So notching, I'm going 90 degrees in a certain direction. Notching left, you know where I'm going. 2 sees an opportunity to engage the bandits or at least slim their numbers down to help me out, to get me out of my defensive situation. So he says 2's pressing, and 1 says continue because I see that is fine. 2 engages. 1 has now defeated his missile, so 1 turns back in. 1 says 1's re-engaging on my bandit, or 1's engaging left bandit, high bandit, low bandit, whatever I see the guy doing. So he knows. And then you follow the normal routine. 2 splash, meaning I kill mine. 1 splash. 1 splash my target. Trying to think of what else.
2, if you don't remember the brevity code for what you need to communicate, just say it.
Yeah. Even if you don't know the brevity, just fucking say it in plain English. Say, yeah, I killed my guy. I'd rather hear that than hear nothing.
Right.
Yeah, that's what was drilled to me. Was like, if you, in the heat of the battle, if you don't remember what notch is, or you don't remember what crank is, just say, hey, I'm coming left 45 degrees, or I'm coming left 90 degrees, or something like that, just so you know what the other guy.
Yep. Absolutely. Say it in plain English if you don't know how to say it in brevity. So you're not going to get punished or anything. Also paying attention to things that are going on outside your own plane. You're paying attention to what the bad guys are doing. You see a smoke trail come off. That's probably a missile. You probably want to say something about missile in the air, something like that. If you hear ringing, you know what you got to do to defend against them. I wish I had time to go over missile defense and stuff like that. But that's a whole big topic. I've gone over that with Grizz. Grizz knows. That's
Yeah, everybody here should know how to notch a missile at this point.
Yep.
Wait for it to stop ringing. Wait about 3 Mississippi. That's my golden rule. 3 to 4 Mississippi. If you can count that high and it not ring again, you can probably turn back in and dump some chaff for goodness. I think the frequency for this is button 10.
I plan on it.
Yeah.
That's
let's
another
check.
question I have. It looks like
Go.
I missed an SRS update and it's not letting me connect.
It's
So I didn't know if you were gonna be on
260
radio.
or 1600 or whatever. I think you could get away from it without having to fuck with SRS. We'll make the calls for you if anything. We'll talk on Discord anyway. 1 second.
Which one do you have?
Sorry about that.
My SRS client,
Yeah, which one do you have?
1.5.9.
Yeah, you're
it's
missing an
1.6.
update.
All right.
I mean, it's been recent.
Yeah, it was pretty recent. I think this week or something.
Yeah, I just installed it. Literally, you can go to the website, download it, extract it, run the installer, close it out, put your new desktop icon there in a matter of like 2 minutes.
Alright,
It's
we
pretty
could do it after just to not cause any problems.
Spotify,
what
buddy.
time is it? 9:30 already? Yeah, we gotta get rolling. So, alright, how many people we have? 6? 7?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Shady with me, for sure.
Okay.
The Jetty, fly pal.
Copy that, Twip.
So, Maverick, you're in here, right? Operator, you're
Roger.
in here?
Yeah.
Okay. So how am I gonna do this? Who do we got left? We got Twib and
Digiting.
Grizz and Shady, and then I'll take my 2 guys, and that'll be fine. I'm gonna have you practice section tack form on your own. I'm gonna go over it, and while I'm saying it, you can do. But that's what we're gonna do first. Then we'll fly up. We'll spawn some things in. I'll try to make it as easy as possible. But we'll get to it. So let's start rolling. I'll call on the radios. How many people? 7. What runway?
25.
Goat, let me know.
Off we go.
Goat, let me know when you, if you see any stuttering or anything. I'm trying to get everything situated.
Grizz, you actually take your 122 jet?
Yeah, sure. And I painted it with my 97 colors.
Oh, yeah, that's what I did too.
Where you at, Shady? Shady.
I'm the one that's farthest. I'm the one that's not moving.
Copy. I'm the last one in the conga line here.
Copy that. I'll fall in behind you.
Twib, you're 510, right?
Are you on channel 14,
I'm right
Waterboy?
behind you. That worked out.
Yeah.
Roger. I'm listening to you on
Yeah,
Discord. I'm
all the
just
settings down,
gonna
I
keep
think
everything
frame
muted.
rate.
That's fine. Maverick, we're
Here.
on 14, by the way, if you talk
Here
to us without saying anything on Discord.
on the chat.
Roger, I'm on 14 with you. Stop.
Alright, so everyone knows how to turn on their SA page, right?
Yes. Or, I can't speak for everybody, but yeah. I know.
Yeah, we use the hell out of the SA page for seed.
Okay.
Roger.
So, tack form. Tack form is useful for, you have tactical formations and then an ability to move tactical formations up to 180 degrees within a short amount of time, effectively without losing your wingman. It's probably one of the most fun, probably one of the most fun topics that you could
Just
possibly learn
takes time, man.
while being in this group, I think, or in general, really. Just, it's a lot of fun. And if you've never done it before, you're
Gotta
in
do
for a
things the
treat,
right
I
way,
think.
not just fly.
There's a couple simple rules. Essentially, you have your commands. This is basic communication, like 101. You have informative commands and directive.
Oh, I know you're just
or
fucking with me.
I shouldn't word it that way. You have informative calls and directive calls.
This is where I learned patience
Directive
right
meaning
here.
I'm telling you to do something. I'm stopping here, by the way, before we get on the runway. We practiced this in 154 the other day. If I say the sky is blue, what kind of call is that to Jetty?
Directive?
No, it's informative. I'm
Informative,
telling you
okay,
the sky
yeah.
is. If I say the grass is green, what kind of call is it, Shady?
Informative.
Okay. If I say 2, turn left 090, what kind of call is it?
Directive.
Yes, I'm telling you to do it. If I say 1 is offensive,
Yeah,
what kind
okay.
of call is it to Jetty?
Informative.
Yes, I'm telling you I'm offensive. If I say 2 go defensive, what am I saying?
Directive.
Yes. Okay, so we got that down. With that being said, that's a big part of TAC 4. When in doubt, just respond, okay? That's the biggest thing. I'd rather hear you respond to me and clutter my radio than never say anything. So I'm going to say things like some of the calls are tack right, and then I'll usually give a heading. So just sitting here, if I look down at my HSI, tack right is a 90-degree turn.
That is very
The
true.
formation is now going to make a 90-degree turn to the right. So somewhere around like 060. So my call would be tack right 060.
Very, very, very true there,
And
Goat.
I'll teach you how to do the turn. But it's pretty simple. The inside guy stays still while the outside guy in the turn cuts inside. And basically, once that guy, the guy that's turning, once that guy reaches about the 7 o'clock or 4 o'clock of the guy who's passing, then the guy that's not turning turns. And the rule is when you make a tack form turn, you go mill power, so not afterburner, but mill power. You pull 3 Gs,
Here in about 5
and
minutes.
you turn to the designated heading. So you maintain a 3G pull at mill
It's training,
power
so it's kind of
until you
boring
reach,
right now, but
and then you roll out. And you should end up pretty much in the same spot you left. That's the idea. Any questions about that? Okay, it's probably hard to imagine in your head right now, but we'll do it. So let's line up.
Shady, go ahead and
Ed?
select 93 air to air on your tech.
Copy.
Who's going to be on my right and who's going to be behind it?
operators on your right.
Mavericks behind you.
Okay. All right, Maverick, give us like a 3-second head start when I say brakes off.
Roger.
You on Yankee or X-ray grid?
Hold the brakes, run it
X-ray.
up. 85.
I don't have it.
Whoa.
2 good jet.
Somebody just stopped short.
3 good jet. Release brakes in 3, 2, 1, release. Go mill.
Call it to it.
Rotate.
You ready, Shady?
Apron. I don't have yardstick.
Gear.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't know what's up.
In air to air mode.
Let's go.
And rotate.
All right, so we're gonna head out 250. We're gonna climb up to Angels 10, and we're going to flow north up the.
Check right.
Twib, come up button 15.
Are you with us, Maverick? Yes, I'm right about your 7 o'clock. I gotcha.
Coming right.
My heading is 330 now. We're just climbing out about like 5 degrees or so. So no rush or anything. We're basically going to make a giant box within this little concave here within the mountains while we do our turns before we... So like I was saying before, as we're getting saddled, tack 90 or tack right, tack left. Those are 90-degree turns to a designated heading, which is, 90 degrees. So, remember the rule. What is the rule, Dejetti? What do I have to do in my turn?
Gonna have to refresh me on that rule.
Just mill power and 3 Gs. 3 G
Yeah,
pull,
70-degree turn. Right?
3 G pull, and mill power. You crank it over as much as you possibly can.
Copy until you hit 3 Gs.
Right. So tack 90 right and left. You look at inside and outside. So if we're wing abreast, let's say I'm on the left side and the jetty is on the right side, I call attack right. The jetty is going to be the inside guy, so he's going to continue flying straight until I reach his 7 o'clock. And then once he sees me behind him on his left, he starts his turn, and that will bring us back to wing.
Copy.
Same for attack left, except the roles get switched because I then turn into the inside. Leveling out Angels.
What angels?
Angels 10.
Copy.
So no need to get close or anything. Let's try going into wing abreast formation. So what we call that is combat spread, and that is wing abreast about 0.5 to 0.8 nautical mile of distance.
2.
Shady, let's drop down to 9.
I'm holding my smash at, let's go to 320. Let's hold that together.
Shady, come right. 350, 9,000.
So it's important as a lead, section lead or flight lead, the better you hold your speed and altitude and maintain level flight or coordinated turns, the easier it will be for your wingman to pay attention to other things than just you. One thing I like to cover before we get into tack turns, cross-checking. It is very important that you pay attention to what's outside of your aircraft, and this will help you 100-fold in missile evasion. It'll help you situational awareness, and it'll help you in SEAD in general. So you and your wingman are a unified unit. What I basically kind of want you to try to practice as much as you possibly can. Try to peel your eyes away from just staring at your lead all the time. Look at your 12 o'clock, look back behind your lead 6, whatever direction that might be, left or right. Then look to your 12 o'clock again. You're looking at near and then far, and then you're looking ahead of your lead. And then you look at 12 o'clock again, and you look back to the other side of you.
Got too
Back
high.
towards your 6, and then you look at 12 o'clock, and then you continue your scan until you get kind of like that 360-degree scan. You're always looking 12 o'clock because you're making sure you're not flying into a mountain. You do these scans in like combat areas and things like that. It's not necessary all the time, but definitely when you're going into a combat area. This is to clear your 6, your lead 6, to clear your flight. So a sneaky little MiG-23 doesn't sneak up your ass and shoot a missile up your ass without you ever knowing. It is super important for the wingman to be doing, as the lead is buried his head in the cockpit with navigation and all sorts of other things.
I got
so
a question real quick,
yeah, go ahead.
off topic. Have you ever had it where your velocity vector's locked up and it doesn't move?
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have your turn your INS to
Damn, I'm an idiot.
that's all right. Make sure your TACAN is turned on. Make sure your data link is turned on. And Shady, go to TACAN Yankee, air to air.
Maverick, this first turn we're gonna do, you're gonna end up in a weird
Good.
place, so you're just gonna have to fix the formation. Just
Okay,
kind of
I've
like
got 29
follow me,
and you
alright?
should be 93.
Roger that. You want me to stay on your left at all times? Yeah, try to, but this turn is gonna drag you away. Don't
And
stay
it's
on my
turned on.
left, just stay out of the way. You know that operator's on my right, so
Any
if we do
ideas there,
attack
Water
90
Boy,
right,
on the air-to-air tech?
Air-to-air attack in. Sorry, I wasn't kind of listening, but you using like a high enough frequency?
Well, I was using 29 and 93. What do we need to use?
2992. That's what it is.
1 second.
It's
Oh,
29.
29 doesn't work anymore because it's not within that range. Try 37 and 100.
It does work.
Copy that. I'll take
Yeah.
37.
We're using 29
Okay.
and 3 right now. Just gotta make sure you're in air to air.
Yeah, me and
With
Twib,
the Yankee.
are using those frequencies. Good to go.
That's the part of the degraded thing. So if you split apart far enough, it won't work.
Are you on
We went to
30?
1.2 apart. it
Where you
looks
going,
like.
Shady?
I'm a little ahead of you. I was hitting-
Yeah.
Well, plus we're at 270 instead of that. What
Yeah.
TACAN channel you on?
I'm on 37. 37 Yankee.
All right. So is everyone kind of ready, or you need
Now
a
we're
little
still
bit of time?
trying to dial in this air tech in.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay, I got 0.3.
If anything, you could just eyeball it, but you could use attack in if you want.
So
It's
go
tough.
combat spread. Should be a mile out.
Copy.
Yeah, but if you're having trouble seeing him, wiggle yourself inwards. Don't make yourself blind if you don't need to be. It's not gonna spank you if you're 0.8 miles instead of a mile. Do
I
it
don't
where
know
you're
how you
comfortable.
are with your kids, but Grizz is pretty tough.
Um,
All right, I'm 3 of 12.
operator, slow down a little bit. You're getting a little bit ahead of me.
what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do attack 90 right, and that's or the real call is tack right, and we're gonna go to 060, which is gonna point us over those mountains. But we're gonna make another turn to practice. So the first one's gonna be tack right 060. That is a command. I suggest you practice it within your section. And like I said before, the outside guy, so whoever's on the left in this case, is going to turn. He's going to go 3G pull at no power, and he's going to pull inside of the guy on his right. And to 060. Once he gets behind about the 7 o'clock of the guy on the right then does the same thing. 3G pull, mill power to 060. Questions?
Well, Shady and I are on Discord because he does not have SRS. So
That's fine. All right, so
What's your heading now, Grizz?
344, 345.
so here we go. First one. I'm just gonna say it within SRS, so you guys do it on your own.
Attack right.
Are we going on this
060.
command?
Now we'll go
2
online.
copies.
Copy.
Tech right 060. Tech right 060.
2.
And then, holy shit! I just passed behind somebody. Oh my god. That was probably you guys. Remember to go back to your original speed after the turn. So we started at 320, we go back.
Okay, now Shady, when I give tack right again to 150, as soon as you say 2, you start the turn, okay? Because you're going to be on the up.
Yeah,
Tack
so
right, 050.
So that's the really important part. Make sure, again, going into directive and informative call, make sure you respond as just part of the flight. Say 2, otherwise your lead isn't gonna do shit because he's gonna crash into you if he does.
Tack right, 050, Shady.
2.
You mean 150?
150, you're right.
So you guys behind us, give us some room because I almost crashed into one of you guys. Either like slow down behind us or I think it's Twib and Digit.
Yeah, we'll slow down. We're way off to your left, sir. Probably.
Yeah, no problem. As long as we don't crash into each other, that's good.
Attack
Look
right,
good,
150.
Shady.
Copy.
Sorry about the lousy headings.
2, attack
No
right,
worries.
050, 150, sorry.
I got a question.
Shoot.
So if wing is on the outside and he starts to turn first, is it still his responsibility to correct the formation, or is it the last guy?
Yeah, it's always the wingman's responsibility for formation. Lead is busy figuring out tactically where he needs to, navigating, looking at what's around, and making decisions. Wingman is responsible for formation integrity, always.
Copy.
Yep. Oops.
So as you can see, typically when you finish one of these tack turns, if you look in the direction where the guy should be, your lead or wingman, you should be able to see him right where you left off. Are you finding that to be true?
Yeah, it looked good.
Semi-true.
Okay, so now that we just did 2 tack right turns, each one of you should have been able to get the chance to on the inside and outside. Do you want to practice more with that, or will
You cut yourself off.
do you want to practice more with that, or move on?
I think we can move on.
Okay.
I think,
good with
right?
that.
Shady?
How's everybody feel?
I'm good with moving on.
All right. So those are one of the simpler ones. That's 90 degrees. Let's talk about. This is a fun one. This is called shackle. You use shackle for a couple different reasons. Number one and most important reason is to clear 6. So you do these usually after engagement, either air to air or air to ground. It's always good to clear the 6 of lead. Wingman can do it on his own without even really saying anything. It's really up to him, because you always want to clear the 6. You usually inform the lead that you're doing something though, like I'm switching 2 switching left or 2 switching right, if that enables you to be more comfortable in whatever certain formation, and the lead will either tell you no, go fuck yourself, or go ahead, or it won't say anything, one or the other. But shackle, basically you're crossing each other. and or one guy is crossing the other, either behind or in front or above and below. You're basically turning into each other without colliding into each other, using the same rules. 3G pull. You cross each other, and essentially you are switching sides. But the second part is that you're also closing distance. And I'll tell you why. Because there's such thing as a cross turn. The cross turn is similar to tack turn, but you're doing 180-degree turn. So we're now turning the formation completely around. What happens when you do that while following these rules is that the formation gets pulled apart a little bit. So you end up at like 1.5 miles instead of 1 miles by the time you're done. And then usually after a cross turn lead, we'll call out shackle to close that distance. Does all that make sense?
In a cross turn, if you're going to do a cross turn, the lead should call either high or low, and two's response is going to be the opposite, high or low. So, like if I was going to do a cross turn, I would say Shady cross turn, lead high. Shady's response would be too low. And then the two low call, or the two call is always the execute.
Correct, yes. So we'll go into that in a second. Let's try shackle. Go ahead, do it on your own, as long as you don't have any questions.
Shady shackle.
2 shack.
2 shackling.
To be honest, I forgot what side you're on because I see people.
Right side. I'm coming at you. I'm coming about to cross in front of you at an angle.
Did we end up doing the right thing? I don't even.
Kinda, sorta. I think I was a little farther out than what I was supposed to be, but it'll work.
Got a little wide.
No, I'm behind you. Maverick's behind me? Where are you? Yeah, I'm staying with you.
I'm going right in front of you.
Oh, okay.
As soon as we cross, and that's when we straighten back up to 050.
Yeah, go ahead and fix it, 150.
150, not 050, sorry.
Yeah. Let's try one more time once you get leveled out. Remember 320? Don't use afterburners because you're going way ahead of me.
You're at 320, right?
Yeah, that was my fault. I went up and over.
I'm at 310 right
No
now. I'm letting you
afterburners,
kind of
like
pull
on
back up
the
on me.
D10. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Let me slow down. That was, yeah. I was watching you, not my speed.
Now I'm set at 320.
Did that work out for you guys?
Yeah, it worked pretty good.
All right, you want to use shackle often, probably more often than you think. You want to clear your 6 after engagement. So if we went up against MiG-29s, we think we shot both of them down. We're gonna call rejoin, and we're gonna do a shackle, and you're gonna clear my 6 because I don't want to be shot down by a MiG-29 we thought was dead.
Shady, you want to try cross turn?
Sure.
The command, or I'm sorry, the call that 2 would say after clearing my 6 would be 6 clear, just to inform me that my 6 is clear and that he has done the shackle or what. Again, 2 can do that. 2 can do a shackle on his own without lead moving. So keep that in mind.
Shady, cross
Want to do it
turn,
again?
lead high.
Yeah, sure. You're on my left. I'm sorry, wrong chat.
Yeah, sure. You're on my left, right?
Yes. 2 shackle.
Shack. Shack. Hello?
I said 2.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, shackle now.
2, 6 clear, or 6 clear.
Shackle.
Now,
All right.
do I close into a mile or switch sides?
Switch sides.
That's what I thought.
Two's
Yeah.
clear.
So, what it's called, what you just described, closing, is called a pinch. It's not a shack. So if you're just closing distance, you could imagine 2 people coming closer together. That's called pinch, or that's the command. Dig is the opposite. Dig is spreading apart. Shackle, you're always crossing each other, or at least one person crossing the.
Shady flow 330.
2.
Twib, do you know cross turn? Have you practiced that yet?
Cross turn?
Yeah.
No. I know crosswind.
Okay, so cross turn, you're making 180-degree turn, kind of like shackle, but again, like Grizz described, the command goes something like this. I would say cross turn cross turn 330, once high, meaning we're going to cross each other. I'm going to maintain high over number 2, and 2 is probably going to respond too low. And as soon as he says that, you execute. You do a 3G pull at mill power, just like shackle, crossing each other, except you're turning all the way to the 180 degrees, which would be 330 in this. And it's going to drag you apart, and then once you're done with that, the usual command is shackle to close. Any questions?
So wait a minute, now that's going to be a complete 180,
Correct.
and then just shackle it up to get more.
Yep,
tied in,
shackle it to close
flight.
it.
Okay, alright, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Shady, are you good with a shackle to a new heading?
We could try it.
Okay, so if we go left, you're going to have to do more than 45 degrees, right?
If that's correct. No, if we go left, I do.
Alright, you ready for a
45
cross
and
turn?
you do 30 degrees.
2's ready.
So you would go. If we
Alright.
went
Cross turn
45,
330.
then you would turn 15 degrees,
once high.
and I would turn.
2's low.
Well, if we shackle, okay, so we shackle left is 270.
Right.
Then
Then I'll
we would-
turn left 45, and you would turn left 15.
Well, you'd have to take a bigger cut, though, to get to 270.
Right. So I'll be making a 45-degree turn, and you'll be making a 15.
270 is more than 45 degrees.
Correct.
Shackle.
But you don't do that
2.
more than 30 degrees.
Let me look at it. Let me look at this real quick.
Shackle.
2.
Okay, you're right. It's 30
If you do
degrees or
more
less
than-
from the
if you go
flow.
more than 30, you call it.
You're right. My bad.
If you want to do an off-heading shackle, the easiest thing to do is just say shackle and then call out the heading you want him to go to, and the wingman will figure it. The wingman will figure out, where he needs to turn to in order to do it, because he's doing nothing but looking at you. Right, because 2 is in charge of deconflict, or the wingman is in charge of deconflection. Oh, if we crash into each other and I'm lead, it's the wingman's fault.
Right, but a shackle turn is not going to be. It's not. It's
need to
only
work
going to
on
be
my
30
shackle.
degrees or less off the heading.
Right. Yeah, you're not gonna make like a 90-degree or anything to shack. So if you're doing an off-heading shackle, Obviously, you as lead needs to determine, like, okay, I just want to turn like 20 degrees to the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say shackle. So I'm going 330 right now. I want to shackle north. So I'm going to say shackle 360 or shackle north. And two's going to respond the same way, two. And then you shackle, and then the wingman figures it.
Okay, so what if I wanted to just go to 270? I want to flow west to 270.
You call it tack.
No,
Well,
tack turns a 90 degree. Tack
Where's
turns a 90 degree.
270? Where's 270 from you?
Well, I'm at 330, so it's 60 degrees off.
So you can make a turn to 330 and just tell them to shack. You don't have to have both parties shack, and typically that problem won't happen because you'll work a shackle around your maneuver. Does that make sense? Like there's limited times when you need to shackle. It's probably after an engagement, but if you're trying to get multiple things done in the same time, I'm gonna say rejoin heading 270 shackle.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah.
So we just did the cross turn, right? We're headed 270, opposing altitude 1,000 feet. Did the cross turn. We both pulled out at a 090 heading, and we shackled. And I called shackle 150. So he pulled towards 150 left turn. I pulled towards 150 right turn to kind of pinch.
Okay, Shady, we're going to do a check turn.
Does that make
Copy.
sense?
Check left, 270.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that okay? Is that?
No,
There's
that's
a
fine.
lot of shit going on.
It's fine. As long as you obviously take into account what the wingman can and cannot, and as long as he did it the right way and you didn't crash into each other, then chances are you probably did it the right way.
High five.
And
Roger, Eddie.
at the end of the day, no matter what happens, regardless of whatever happens to the formation, the wingman or number 2 is responsible for the formation integrity. So, regardless, it doesn't have to be a maneuver that puts him back into the right spot. He should figure it out. That's his job. He should be able to put himself in the right.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
I got a little fast there, Grizz. I saw we were
Energetic.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, copy. You're
Wow.
behind me right now, aren't you?
Yeah, about your 7.
Yeah, see, what if I do a check turn and you're way out there, you can pull harder and come to the inside. You don't have to stay on the right. You can go to the left side.
Yeah, I'm slightly on your left right now.
And what I can do is I can just call a shackle.
Copy. I'm gonna come up on you. Spread.
What I would do if I was leading and I wanted my wingman to shackle either 1 to close distance or 2 check my 6, I would just say shackle and I would continue on my way with whatever and not turn. And the wingman will figure that. The wingman will start his turn. He'll, while maintaining visual contact with me, see that I'm not turning and handle it on his own and just switch to the other side. But let me know when you guys are ready and we'll move on to another time.
Yeah, we're good. I was just getting us away from the mountains.
What about you, Twitch?
I think we're ready to move on to the next.
Okay. There's one final attack turn that I just forgot about. Hook. Hook is you both turn the same direction, 180 degrees. So imagine 2 planes flying abreast. If I say hook left, we both turn left to the 180 degrees. In this case, 150. So I'm turning hook left 150. You go mill power, 3 Gs, and you just go on two's follow-up call. So you execute on two.
Oh, so it's like instead of cross turn where you both turn the opposite directions, hook is just going to be both turn same direction, 180.
Correct.
Cool.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you want, you can practice it. Otherwise, we can move on.
Yeah, we can move
That's
on.
So let's start flying north, and let's flow 310, all of us.
Checking left
Copy.
310.
So do whatever you need to do to fly that direction. Now, I'm going to maintain 320 knots. You don't have to catch up with me or anything, but I'll go over information while we fly up there.
Copy.
Is everyone's mind melting yet?
Oh, super melted.
Okay, fantastic. Was tack turns fun? Did you enjoy that? That's probably the most fun topic I've learned, I think.
Shady, we're going to do a tack turn, but we're going to do it to tack right, 310.
Hook left. We did it. Cool. Oops, sorry. Wrong com.
All right.
Yeah, I
From
went
the-
to attack left and went damn hook left. Oh man, I
So
suck at this game.
from the overwhelming response, I'm assuming everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was good. I just didn't have my plane stopped responding.
Your plane stopped responding? That's not good.
Something happened on the computer, and I had to jump out.
Oh. So as we're flying, and this is a even more complex that I usually break up into multiple lessons, but you guys are lucky today. Basically, this goes on to following all the same rules that we basically just covered: communication, and the different roles. So, I'd really like to take an excerpt out of this manual, but I don't think it's necessary. So let's just go over like flight rules and roles. So we talked about the cross check and everything, and the relationship from lead to his wingman. So you have a flight of 4, right? Number 1 is a lead. Number 2 is lead's wingman. Number 3 is a section lead, and number 4 is number 3's wingman. That's the relationship of a flight. That's a 4-man flight. You have a 2-man flight, obviously you have lead and wingman. Simple as. The role of lead is to navigate, communicate, and tactically situate yourself within whatever area you're in. That's his job. He's there to get you in, to get you out, drop your ordnance, or handle whatever mission you've been assigned. That's his job. Number 2 does everything else. So he's not just there to fly formation and look pretty. He's also clearing 6. He's looking around, making sure no SAMs are shooting from underneath or out in the distance, making sure nothing is shooting IR missiles 9 miles off our left or right side. He's maintaining formation integrity. He's listening to lead's command, and he as well is also navigationally keeping himself aware of so he knows where he is at all times. Number 3 has the worst job. Number 3 has a job that combines number 1 and 2. He does everything number 1 does: navigate, tactically situate himself, communicate, and everything. while also doing number two's job, which is to pay attention, look around, be part of the formation, keep everyone. Number four does the same job as number two. He looks out, keeps himself navigationally aware, situationally aware. You get the idea? It's a cohesive unit. Everyone has their own, but everyone is doing something. That's the idea. With that being said,
That agrees.
Shady, let's go up to 20.
You got a contact offer now?
Not yet.
About 70 some odd miles.
Angels 24.
2.
so I see you guys on the SA page. I'm assuming Grizz, you're furthest north.
Yeah, we're quite a ways north.
Okay. Me and Operator and Maverick are smack, and I'm guessing Twiv and the Jetty are behind us. So that's what you're looking
Yeah, that's right.
at. That contact is probably good to practice on. I don't know what that is or who spawned that in, but it's a single target. That's a good place. So
I cannot get my radar to interleave. That it's not even showing up as a key on my on the left side of the DDI.
it's just the left bottom button. You
Yeah,
just
it's not
click that a
there.
couple
There's
times.
nothing there.
Like it doesn't say high, medium, or anything.
No, it doesn't say anything.
Is your radar on?
My radar is on.
Hit your paddle switch.
Yeah, you can try that.
Nope.
Press your TDC cursor and then hit your paddle switch.
But there should always be something. That's weird.
There we go. Now it came in.
Okay. So, I'm assuming that thing is like disappearing into the mountains, whatever that is.
Sorry about that, Shady. I was heads down, wasn't paying attention.
No worries. You're my world.
So what I'm gonna do, unless you guys find that bad guy, I'm gonna spawn in a group, and unfortunately it spawns 2, so it's not exactly starting easy or anything.
Fuck yeah.
But what I want to hear, and basically everyone else is gonna kind of sit out and just orbit and listen to what's going on. Specifically, I'm gonna be looking to hear proper communication. I want to hear, offensive and defensive. I want to hear where people are going. I should be able, even sitting out and not even looking, I should be able to build a mental picture in my head of exactly what is going on within your flight and know where you two are at all times. And that's basically what I'm looking to. If you can do that, then you are more than ready. You can keep each other alive, you can keep your flight alive, you can defeat the enemy, and that's all.
Fence in, Shady.
Go ahead and fence in if you're not already.
Let's get rid of these empty tanks.
2 fenced in, 10.2.
3 is fenced in 10.5. 1's in 10.6.
Copy, Shady.
2.
Where you at, Maverick? Behind me?
Yeah, let's get rid of these empty tanks.
That's your 3.5.
Copy, I punched him.
I'm clean.
About a mile to your east. Oh, I see you. You're hiding in the mountains. You're like at the top of the snow caps, just blending in over there.
Bandit,
I just
12
had my
o'clock.
snow skis installed.
Bandit, 12 o'clock, 45 miles, beaming.
2 spot.
You want me to close in tight to you? You want me to stay here?
You can stay right there. It's fine. I like flying through these mountains to look at.
25
It's a change of
nails.
scenery.
2 same.
Looks like he's turning hot.
Check left, 300.
460 at 24,000 knots.
Looks like he's Angels 2-4. Nose hot. 20.
Copy that. Two, shoot, lead cover.
2's got a missile.
Got visual on contrail.
Dodge 41, Overlord, Bra 302, 450 at 24,000.
What's your guys' range to the target?
18 miles.
Okay. Just so you know, you shot 2 AIM-9Xs, which probably won't reach that.
That's my best.
Lead's engaging. Coming right.
So one thing I want you to pay attention to right now is reference what he's doing. So
340.
Copy,
based
2
on
supporting
what
low right. Low.
Fox
Big-
3.
based on what I'm seeing right now on the SA page, you are in trail of him. He cold to you, or running.
Correct.
You have to keep in mind that he is now traveling close to probably the same velocity you are. So it's going to make it that much harder for the missile to get there. Chances are
Yeah, he's
you
turning.
probably won't be able to shoot it until he gets close.
He's turning to evade. He's coming back hot. Fox 3.
I'm gonna probably have to leave here in a little bit, Water Boy. I gotta do some stuff. I forgot to do it, so.
No problem. Not a big deal.
He's running.
So now remember what I told you to keep in mind. Did you ID what it is yet?
It's a big 25.
Okay. So watch out for an IR missile if he cranks around. That's what you're looking for, and you're looking to close the distance so that you can get within range